Hello, everyone. My name is Dana Schmidt Johnson. I am the community manager of the Ritual Society, as well as the house astrologer here at Ritual Planner. Today, we're going to be talking about the medicine wheel. We have shamanic practitioner Heather Thomas here today to talk about the shamanic journey and using the medicine wheel. Hello, Heather.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm so
So,
excited.
yeah, and we're so excited to have you here. Tell us, what the heck is a medicine wheel?
So, a medicine wheel is a shamanic tool that incorporates natural objects. And so, as we build a medicine wheel, it will honor the four directions, the elements, the different chakras, Mother Earth, Father Sky. It will also create the center place for us to really find balance and to feel good about the direction that our life is heading.
Well, that sounds like it can do a whole
It can
lot.
do a whole lot. So
How is a medicine wheel used, and how will we be using it in the class?
so it can be used a couple different ways. In our class, we are going to build a medicine wheel together. And so we'll use our natural objects. If you brought some from around your house, great. If not, you can just follow along with me. And as we build the medicine wheel, we are talking about different archetypes. So, how does the fire element show up in your life? How does the serpent show up in your life? And we'll talk about what the serpent means about shedding our past, shedding our skin so that we don't feel stuck in the past or things that have already happened to us. We can move forward. Different animals, different elements hold those energies. And as we talk about them and get to know the language of them in your own way, we can use them to help us development to develop and change our energy within ourselves so that as we show up, we're not bringing or dragging that past baggage around with us everywhere we go.
That's amazing. It seems like this medicine wheel can do a whole lot in talking about this longer journey of our lives. Does that go along with the shamanic journey? What exactly is a shamanic journey?
So one piece of the question I want to talk about is if you think about like we're living our lives and our stories or our issues, like we work on them in one way and then they come back up again. And hopefully, as they come back up again, we have new tools to process them in a deeper or new way. So if you think of that spiral or the wheel, we're going through our stuff. And so the medicine wheel can be used in conjunction with a journey or sometimes separate, sometimes together. And so the shamanic journey is similar in a lot of ways to a guided meditation. And so we use the drum often, but we can use the rattle or the flute as well. But we use sound to help us get into that lower state, our theta, the theta waves of our brain. So we slow everything down. We kind of step out of the busy mind. And then the shaman or the guide will lead us through a different place. And so when we're journeying, there's three different worlds that we'll travel to. And we use, I always use a tree, but you use natural objects to travel to these places within your imagination or your mind. And so the lower world is where we're going to process things of our past and our like things of our immediate past. So, our physical world, how we're dealing with things, how we can release things. We'll meet spirit guides there. People often have a couple main spirit guides. And they could be beings, they could be animals, they could be like colored balls of energy. It depends on your senses as how you're going to see those or hear them or kind of just know. It's not always a visual experience for everybody. So just to know that we all process the world differently, we're going to process journeying differently. And then so as we the next level is the middle world. And so that's think of that to go a little witchy on you. Think of that as like crossing the veil and kind of interacting with spirits here. And so you might have a spirit in your house that you want to get to know or ask to leave. you could do that. Or if one example, my daughter was having really bad dreams, and so she could go into that space and ask. There was a piggy lady that was giving her nightmares, and to like kind of interact with that energy and be like, "Are you here for my highest and best good?" Nope. Okay, you can move on. Is one other aspect. And then the third world that you can travel to is the upper world. And that's where like the book of the soul is, the Akashic records is another word for it. That's where you can really go deep into the future if that's your thing. And for me, I like to stay in the lower world and kind of deal with my everyday life. Some people love the Akashic records and looking at the book of their soul and finding those different aspects. And so it kind of depends on what you have an affinity for, what type of journey that you're just going to love. Like all the journeys have beneficial aspects, but as we all are learning all these different tools, we're going to really like and resonate with different aspects of them. So I think
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. There's all kinds of different tools. Some of us gravitate to certain ones. As you're talking about this, it's so interesting how many things kind of cross over, right? There's so much interconnectedness, but this is really an ancient practice, right? This medicine wheel is not new. The shamanic journey is not new. How can we, in today's world, in the people that we are now, in what is kind of a new agey
It's all
spiritual
coming back.
realm, how do we acknowledge and honor the sanctity of things like the medicine wheel?
Um, so in my experience or my personality, I like to look at the similarities. So I always am like get really excited, like, oh, if you went witchy, we're kind of doing the same thing. Or if you went kind of down the Vedic yogic path, like they're doing some of these aspects too. And so that because it's just my personality. I'm like, wow, look at all these ancient teachings are kind of similar. And so I like to look at that aspect because the circle and the idea of the medicine wheel pops up in cultures around the world. And so there's some different aspects about them because their life was different and they didn't have the internet to share everything then. So I find that aspect really fascinating, whether you call it a medicine wheel or a mandala or whatever you want, whatever language you want to use, I think it's fascinating that it's all coming back up too. Like we're all finding these teachings again. And then I know it can be a hot topic among some cultures, but the way I was taught, my direct lineage through my teachers of the medicine wheel and of the shamanic practices, they are from Peru. They're the Q'ero people that may have Incan ties. So they may have that link thousands of years ago to the Incan culture of that area in the mountains and valleys of Peru. But they had a couple, I don't know how long ago exactly, but a couple generations ago, there was a meditation done and they have decided it's time to share their teachings. So this specific culture around Machu Picchu is ready to share. So it made me feel okay. Like I'm taking these ancient native South American practices as the way I look, blonde hair, blue eyes, or I used to have blonde hair. Um, they that it's okay. Like they want us to learn. They want us to share that knowledge on down to new generations. And I know some cultures are willing to do that and some are a little more hesitant. And I think as we honor the wheel, we get to be very respectful of honoring where it came from and honoring, like just using a few of their words in their language to me honors that. Like Mother Earth is Pachamama, and Mother Earth, I don't know, is so powerful word in English, but Pachamama in their culture is a big deal, and you honor Pachamama all the time by placing your hands on the earth or bowing down. And so taking those little aspects and beginning to understand their culture and beginning to understand why they're doing it. And if it feels right for you, incorporating it into your own practice.
That's really lovely. And, the unfortunate reality is that a lot of those cultures kind of have either disappeared, right? Or, are very much changing. So to be able to connect and have a culture be like, no, we want to pass this on. We want more people to understand it and keep using it because it's such a powerful practice. I think that's
Right.
really lovely.
So
Ah, Heather, thank you so much for being here today. You are going to come into the society in February. What a lovely month to work on a medicine wheel. Whether you want to bring things or just watch along as Heather creates the medicine wheel and then take that knowledge and make your own, or you want to bring things and play along, you can do any of those. So we're really excited to work with you in February. But in the meantime, where can people find you?
Please feel free to message me in the society, or my email is the best, easiest way to find me. It's Heather, Heather .Thomas, THOMAS 06 @gmail.com.
Sounds great.
Thank you
Heather, thank
so
you so
much.
much. Yes, and we'll see you in February.
See you then.